Welcome to the Green Lantern Review, featuring Grant and Kenneth. Alright, so the movie opens with a bland-sounding narrator telling us about Green Lanterns around the universe.
They divided the universe into 3,600 sectors. A ring powered by the energy of will was sent to every sector to select a recruit.
This immediately throws us into the plot before we have a chance to ease into it.
That, Grant, brings up a certain word that begins with a C. Crap! I mean context. This film shoves a bunch of crap on the screen before we, as an audience, have a chance to understand any of it. Most films of this kind of outlandishness have the outlandish elements revealed to the main character so that we, the audience, can learn with him. And you'll see later why this is an issue.
Exactly, Kenneth. I have no idea how powerful a Green Lantern is, so it doesn't really mean anything to me to watch a monster kill 3 of them. I don't know what to make of it, and I'm not sure whether or not I'm supposed to be impressed. But on another note, the CGI used for these space scenes is just horrible for this movie. I don't believe that I'm really looking at outer space. Outer space looks nothing like this. I just feel like I'm watching a cartoon, like The Incredibles. It doesn't feel like a live-action movie starring Ryan Reynolds. In fact, when we finally see Ryan Reynolds, I don't believe for a minute that anything we saw before is in the same universe as what we're seeing now. It just feels like he's late for work because he stayed up late playing an outer space video game or something.
Sorry, I gotta run. Make yourself at home, okay? There's water in the tap.
So Hal goes to his job, where we're introduced to the oh-so-interesting character of Carol Ferris, with a wonderful scene of exposition.
Hal, this test today, it's important.
Let me give you a little heads up. I've gone up against these sabers all week and they have smoked me every time. This is exactly why I didn't want you for this. My father did.
Who talks like this?
You're right! Half of what she says is setting up the backstory between them, and the other half is badly acted and flat dialogue that I can only assume was intended to be clever banter between the two of them. The problem is that Blake Lively clearly cannot keep up with the comedic energy of her co-star.
Just gonna maybe do a little flying today. What do you think?
I think you're late.
Yes, but that's only because I slept in.
I used to sleep in, then I turned 11.
This is important. We're both pilots.
We work together, but I don't like you. My dad is our boss. We used to date. Who talks this way? No one does so much explaining in a casual conversation. Nobody!
So we get a scene, which actually isn't that bad, where our two heroes have to fly jets against these AI jets to prove that manned aircraft are still necessary. And that's exactly what Hal Jordan manages to do. How does he get rewarded? He, and apparently a whole bunch of other people, lose their jobs.
Yeah, the dogfight scene was pretty cool, but then this happens.
You're not scared, are you, Dad?
Let's just say it's my job not to be.
Hal Jordan randomly has flashbacks of his dead dad that come off as a strange montage that interrupts the action. These memories will never be mentioned again.
Speaking of the dead dad, Hal Jordan's brother mentions that his dad was a risk taker and Hal apparently wants to be like him. But we don't get any of that from this vague flashback. All we get is confusion, because the dad isn't established as a risk taker. We just see him explode. He didn't explode because he's a risk taker. In fact, he seemed to just be sitting there. Was he a risk taker because he didn't jump out of a burning plane?
That would make him quite a risk taker. So then Hal goes to his nephew's birthday party.
We get a heartfelt scene between Hal and his concerned nephew. It's actually not that bad of a scene, but it made me wonder, is the nephew going to help Hal through his character arc? Are we going to see the nephew in some kind of peril later on? I wonder, when are we going to see these characters interact again?
So, after the pointless birthday party scene, Hal Jordan's story is finally connected with the outer space introduction in the stupidest way ever. A giant green ball falls from the sky and abducts Hal and drops him off at the beach at night. How many hours was Hal inside of that ball screaming? It's nighttime now!
So Hal meets an alien who gives him a ring and a lantern, and he calls his friend to come pick him up.
Hal's friend is given some sort of hipster look to him, and it's clear by his little quips that the filmmakers intended for him to be the comic relief. There's just one problem with that. Ryan Reynolds is already a comedian. You can't have a comedic side character who is less funny than the main character. It just doesn't work, and it makes the character redundant.
So, just as Hal is getting acquainted with his powers, he gets a knock at the door by a character who looks familiar but couldn't be the same person.
Carol.
Everything okay in there?
It's fine. Do you want to get a drink?
Can we talk?
Yeah. We can talk and drink.
Okay, so they establish this character as Hal's tough-as-nails co-worker. Now she appears to be an old friend who wants to make up for lost time. When we first saw this film, Grant, I could have sworn that she was a different character. Take a look how bizarrely her character switches between tough bitch and sweet best friend.
There isn't anything you can do that they can't do better, faster, and without disappointing women everywhere. Everything okay in there? This is exactly why I didn't want you for this. Hal.
Grounded, pending the results of an investigation.
I know that your dad's been bucking for you to take over
The
the
merits
company,
of
but
my
this is
career
taking things
choices
a little
are
bit
not
far,
on
don't
the
you think?
table right
You're a
now.
pilot, Carol, and a good one. Giving that up to fly a goddamn desk is bullshit.
Hal, I like the business part, and I'm good at it, which, by the way, doesn't mean I'll never get in a cockpit again. It isn't one way or the other. That's the way a child looks at things, and we aren't children anymore. You know what I spent my afternoon doing?
What?
Worrying about you.
Gosh, she's all over the place, like a crazy person. So now Hal walks out into the parking lot and is assaulted by 3 men who were just laid off as a result of his actions at work.
So, another point. Some superhero movies like to have a scene where the main character overcomes the adversity of what equates to bullies. It establishes the main character's new powers and it makes us root for them for showing up some jerks. Let's break down what we know about this scene.
You cost us all our jobs, you son of a bitch.
Number 1, Hal caused them to lose their jobs. Number 2, they were going to leave Hal alone after this. Knowing what we know, let's watch this part.
Hey. Hey! My face is just getting warmed up.
He kills them. Honestly, you think someone can survive after getting hit through a brick wall? Let's compare that scene to a scene in the original Spider-Man film. Flash is established as an asshole beforehand. Peter didn't make him lose his job. He doesn't kill him. In fact, he kind of feels bad afterward. With this scene, Hal Jordan kills at least 1 person and severely injures 2 others. Will he ever suffer any repercussions for this? No! Will it ever come up again? No.
So now the magic green ball comes back, and this time it takes Hal to outer space, or at least the video game world meant to look like outer space. This is a crucial point in the movie where Hal finally learns about his destiny, but I just feel like I haven't learned enough about him to care about his destiny. Here we're over 30 minutes into the film, and I still don't know anything about Hal Jordan. In fact, several scenes in this movie contradict the things that I thought I already knew about him.
It's so remarkable how the writers have managed to make a character so many things, and yet nothing at the same time. Take this. Everyone in the film makes him out to be irresponsible.
Responsibility. Responsibility? Yeah. You? Maybe on their planet, responsibility just means asshole. Do you think I'm irresponsible? No need to answer, that's fine.
But he's shown, attending his nephew's birthday party and comforting him when he's afraid, bravely helping an alien in a fallen spacecraft. He does his job better than everyone else. In fact, that's why he was chosen for the AI thing.
Hal, this test today, it's important.
Is he irresponsible because he overslept and was almost late for work? People do that all the time.
Is he irresponsible because he wrecked his plane and defeated the AI jets? Maybe, but it was his job to beat them. And later in the film, he's actually commended for doing it. That's right. The thing that got him and numerous people fired was actually a good thing.
So now Hal is in space, and one can only wonder what's gonna happen next.
Brightest day, blackest night. No evil shall escape my sight.